Hello, everybody, and welcome to True Crime Banter, the podcast aimed at bringing you your dose of murder relaxation. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
And welcome to another episode of the True Crime Banter podcast. Tonight, we're recording this at night. I will be taking the lead. And we got a real episode for you guys. No microdose BS. This is full-blown.
I like the microdose BS. I mean,
so do I.
It's just not time for it this
don't tell
time.
anybody.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing? How you feeling? You've been up for a long time.
I have.
Yeah. A little tired.
Opened the coffee stand. 18
Close
hours
the
later.
coffee
Here
stand.
I am. Yep.
Yes.
Also, happy Mother's Day. We're recording this on Mother's Day.
Oh,
guys,
yeah. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
To all the motherfuckers. All the mothers.
And the mother lovers out there. Because I'm a mother lover. You're a mother lover. And we love each other's mothers. Like I said earlier, I will be taking the lead tonight.
Oh my God.
And tonight we're going to be covering a case, the disappearance of Henry McCabe.
I know that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's been a few. I don't know.
We do
maybe
a pretty good
podcasts.
job of not telling each other what they are.
Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be a point where we'll be like, oh, it'll click for you.
Yeah.
But until then,
I
guess before then, you got some shout outs?
Yeah, let's do that real quick. You don't have any, do you?
I do, but I'm going to hold off. Yeah, we'll hold off till
I don't have a ton, but a woman by the name of Bernadette, but she asked for us to call her Bernie.
All
She
right.
said, "Hey there, thanks for the follow. I was even more excited because you are a true crime podcast. Just started catching up on all your episodes." So yeah, she's like, "I'm super excited about
thank you,
starting
Bernie.
it." Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then the murder, it's the M3. The
Okay.
M3 podcast, which stands for Murder, Mystery, and Mayhem.
All right.
They said, this was the one that I believe I posted. They were so cute. And they did a little story of us with the Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
GIF,
The dancing to our intro music.
Yeah, they said, y'all have the best intro music. LOL. A little happy dance before the gruesome details. That's what I call balance. There's a cute little face on there. And I need to pep up my voice a little bit. I'm so tired.
Oh, you're tired. What?
I know, I'm
you
trying.
Just get through these.
I
We'll
know.
get some bit of banter going, and then you can just sit back, relax.
Yes. And then
enjoy the episode.
You're so annoying. Then someone by the name, I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to spell it.
All right.
They commented, and the name is Kaelienp, like Kaelian.
Okay.
Kaelian P, it looks like. He, she, whoever they are, they said, "I love y'all's podcast. I've been binging ever since you guys followed me. I love how you all cover different types of true crime. I also love how you all try to use your platform to help out. Thank you for the fantastic stories."
Well, thank you, Kaelian
P. I know, super nice.
Yeah. That's what we try to do around here is be a little bit different and then honestly really just try to help out as much as we can.
Yep, exactly. And I'm pretty sure that's what I got. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's it on that.
All right. Now what about some bit of banter?
So I didn't really, I mean, you can kind of make banter out of anything, right? Because that's the whole talking back and forth about something. I don't need to really pose a question or whatever.
Right,
but I thought
yeah.
I would do a story and we could just comment on really quick. Because I was like, what weird stuff is out there? So this title caught me and it pretty much just sums it up. I mean, I'm going to give a little bit of detail, but this is pretty much what caught my attention.
I'm ready.
So it says,
I'm ready and waiting.
"Man who posed as special needs patient so home nurses would change his diapers. Sentenced for perverse deception."
Did
you see this? This was 2020.
remember this when this happened.
Okay, so yeah, it happened. Yeah, December of 2020.
Yeah,
which
what
you know
a
what?
weirdo.
I don't know if I didn't hear about it because 2020 was kind of a fog for a lot of us. So I could see this getting only during a pandemic would something like this get
Just
lost.
fall under the. Yeah, so, I remember. Actually, you go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not that many. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, the title is pretty much everything. But it says his name was Rutledge Diaz the Fourth. It says he pretended to be disabled and received sexual gratification from having his caretakers change his diapers.
Yeah, this sounds very familiar.
Yeah. It says that Louisiana State Police arrested Diaz, a 29-year-old New Orleans resident, in November of 2019. So he was sentenced in December 2020, I guess. Following reports that Diaz was using the internet to engage in fraud and later commit sexual battery. Police said in a press release. Through the course of their investigation, police learned that Diaz had advertised on social media to find a home health care worker to look after his disabled 18-year-old brother, quote, Corey, end quote. However, once the workers arrived, Diaz would pretend to be, quote, Corey, end quote, and have the woman change his diapers, which aroused him sexually. One of his victims, an unnamed woman, provided care for Corey on at least 10 separate occasions before she realized what was happening and reported him to the police. So,
yeah, I don't think it would take very long to be like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
You're faking it.
Yeah, he was charged with 10 counts of sexual battery.
That's just, that is a weird kink. I don't know. This is why it sounds familiar.
And these women are just trying to show up to help, like, a disabled person.
Yeah.
Like, these poor women are, like, fucking scarred for life now.
Absolutely, yeah. How do you ever volunteer to...
And I guess after he was arrested, they saw his picture, and more women came forward and were like, what the fuck? I changed his diaper, too. What the hell?
I just wonder... I remember this case, or this story, when it came out, because I was like, what kind of sexual gratification do you get from somebody else changing you?
I don't know, but I do know that there's got to be like some kind of website for this. Like if you're already paying for a healthcare worker, you might as well pay for someone to like pretend. You know what I mean? Like there are people that will do this.
Is it like erotic for them to be wiping you or something?
I don't know.
Like,
I think touching the area. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. But guess what? There's like
it's got to be the only, I know, right? It's got to be the only way that, like, he probably could get somebody to touch him is if they thought that they had to.
Yeah, I guess so.
To help
I don't
him
know.
out.
That's weird. I do remember that story, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that would be interesting, so here's
the
banter.
I loved it.
The end.
I want to know if anybody else gets off on the idea.
No, you don't.
No, I don't?
No, you don't.
Okay,
no,
never mind. I take
don't
that
want
back.
to know.
I don't want to know.
No, we're good. Thank
All right.
you very much.
Well, no, thank you. I love that story so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to do my own research later.
I bet you will. Okay.
All right, well, I guess we should go ahead and hop into the story.
Yeah, let's do it.
This story takes place Labor Day weekend, 2015, in Mounds View, Minnesota. 32-year-old Henry McCabe decides to spend a night out with the boys. Now, Henry, he was currently working as an auditor for the Department of Revenue in Minnesota. An immigrant from Liberia, Henry fought in the Liberian Civil War that lasted up until 2003. Shortly after the war ended, Henry made his way over to the U.S., eventually marrying his wife, Corrine McCabe, who gave birth to their 2 daughters. So this all begins the night of September 6th, 2015. Corrine is out of town, out of the state, actually, visiting family in California. Henry, he's spending the day hanging out with his buddy, William Kennedy. We'll come to find out that William is actually the last person to knowingly see Henry still alive. William and Henry, they decide to meet up with another friend of theirs, so Calvin Johnson, not the football player. They meet Calvin at a club named Pavlitsky's, I think is how you say it, not too far from where Henry actually lived. And as the night progresses, it's clear to his friends that Henry was going a little overboard with the alcohol. So much so that at one point they decided to take his keys and his wallet away from him, making sure he wasn't able to drive himself home later that night. But also, at the same time, making sure that he can't continue buying out the bar.
Can I ask real quick? You
Yeah.
didn't mention anything about the children. Are they with the mom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
So the mystery of the night begins around 1:50 a.m. when William Kennedy says Henry hopped into his car so he could drive him home. William swears, though, that for some reason Henry absolutely insisted that instead of being taken home, he be dropped off at a gas station. The gas station in question was about 2 miles away from the club they were leaving, but in the opposite direction of where Henry actually lived.
Okay, so already weird.
Yes.
Okay.
So William, for some odd reason, obliged to Henry's request and took him to the Super America gas station in the neighborhood of Fridley, Minnesota. Once there, William dropped Henry off and made his way back home. Now, for some reason, William kept Henry's keys and maybe just forgot to give him his keys once he
Okay.
dropped him off. But Henry's other friend, Calvin, was still in possession of Henry's wallet, too.
And obviously the car is like at the club. They just left the car there.
Right.
Like he has his
Henry's
keys.
car.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not like somebody picked him up from his house. He took his keys with him and the car's at his house.
Yes.
The car's at the club.
His house or the club?
The club.
The
The car is at the club.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You
No,
just
that's
said his
okay.
house for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So Henry's car is still at the club.
Right.
They
And-
said, Henry, you're not going to be driving home.
Gotcha.
And so we took the keys.
Okay.
But they also took his wallet, which I think is,
That is weird
I
too.
get it, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Maybe so he wouldn't lose it.
Uh,
Not as like a
Don't buy
a
any more
control
alcohol
thing or
type thing.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. But I mean, so basically it's 2 a.m. now, and Henry has no keys, no money, and no form of identification whatsoever.
And he's at a gas station.
At just some
far
random
from his
gas
house,
station
yeah.
that he insisted he be dropped off at.
Okay.
And at this gas station is the last time he's ever seen alive. It's what happens in the next 30 minutes, though, that produces probably the most questions without any answers to any of them.
Security footage? Is that what you're getting here?
We'll see.
Okay.
So at
Got excited.
2:28 a.m., Henry McCabe makes a phone call to his wife, Corrine,
Oh.
who, like I said before, in California with the daughters. Corrine, sleeping, doesn't pick up the phone. And so what happens when people don't pick up a phone call?
You call again? I don't know. You
Well,
I don't
when
know. Oh,
on
you
the-
leave a voicemail. Okay,
it
that was
goes
a
to
stupid
voicemail.
question. Is he calling from the gas station? Like a payphone? Or does he have a cell phone?
He's got a cell phone.
Okay.
He still has a cell phone. He just doesn't have a wallet or keys.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so this is about a half an hour after
He was dropped
William
off.
drops him off.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you're correct. Good job. A voicemail. It goes to voicemail, and what you're going to hear next is the last thing that anyone's heard from Henry.
Wow.
Now, I do want to forewarn people that the voicemail, the actual voicemail itself is probably 2 minutes long. And for some reason, it's impossible to find a full version of it.
Huh.
So the following what I have is kind of the extent of what is out there on the internet right now.
Okay.
And then the
Weird.
clip I'm going to play is actually going to replay itself twice over.
Okay.
So let me pull this up here. And again, just warning, graphic warning, because it's not a pleasant voicemail.
Oh, shit.
So here we go. Yeah,
Is that it?
just a bunch of weird noises.
What the fuck? It sounds like the fucking Alien versus Predator or something.
Right.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
So that's the last thing anybody has ever heard from him.
If that's even him, what the hell is that?
Yes, trust
It
me.
sounds like he's being sucked through like a black wormhole or something.
Yeah,
That's
just a
so
bunch
weird.
of weird fucking sounds, and I don't really.
Fucking, I don't even know like where to even begin on that.
Right, there's
Is
a
that
lot
even
of
a
theories about
person?
what's going on with this case, and we'll cover those towards the end.
Okay.
But yeah, initial thoughts that I had were the same ones that you had, and I think probably
It
everybody
almost-
out there has.
yeah.
Like, what
It
even
almost
is
sounds like
that?
if you could have a phone or a recorder underwater while someone's being drowned
Okay.
or something. It's like like it sounds like a
Right.
weird, watery kind of almost. It sounds like a gurgle scream or something. It's so weird.
Yeah. I can.
So weird.
There is a video that I was exposed to when I was a young child. And by young child, I mean like in my teen years.
And you
in
looked
the
it
internet.
up.
Yes.
You mean exposed to as in like
as
you
in
looked
like
it up?
yes,
Yeah.
I was gallivanting on the interwebs, and it is it was been when things like the Pain Olympics and stuff were going around.
Yeah.
And this is a video that was brought up in the Luca Magnotta case before. Like
Not Hata. Shout out to the captain.
And I know this video, and it's a video of a guy that is basically drowning on his own blood.
Oh my god!
I mean, like that's the gist of it.
How have you not like sought therapy or anything yet? Like I'm into some fucked up shit, but not like that.
I'm not into this. This is something I just came upon while looking up like just stupid videos.
Pretty fucked up. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and it's very similar to what you're talking about, where he's trying to breathe through basically.
Ugh.
Almost like I would say people who like drown on their own puke because they're over
or they're drugged up or whatever. Yeah, I got you.
And this is very similar where it's like they're trying to breathe through water or something.
Yeah, weird.
So this is where Henry disappears. Never to be heard from again.
I can't even imagine like being the wife and getting that. Like that
voicemail, right?
Like it's not even like a I love you or I'll see you soon or it's
sounds.
Like, it's just sounds that you don't even know what they are and they sound terrible.
Yes. I 100% agree.
Absolutely, scary.
Listening to it now, knowing that's just a voicemail.
Yeah.
Now then you realize my husband's missing.
Okay. Continue.
So police.
I'm so invested. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're notified the next morning by Corrine about this voicemail left by Henry. And how his phone now goes straight to voicemail anytime she tries to call him back. So the investigators, they get a hold of Henry's friends and they hear about the story, or I guess they hear the story about William dropping him off at the Super America gas station. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things they do is pull the security footage from that gas station.
Thank God this happened in like the 2000s-ish time,
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah.
So updated enough that like good enough security, And well, like I said, they pull that security footage and they're watching the wee hours of 2 a.m. And what do they find, Christian?
They never see him.
Nothing.
Yep.
They never see him.
Piece of shit. Fucking William.
Here's the thing though.
Okay.
Police watched every second of that security footage from that night. And it turns out that Henry's friend William was mistaken. And it was actually a Holiday gas station that he dropped him off at. So
he did drop him off at a gas station.
He dropped him off at a gas station.
Okay.
And
so never mind, I guess
the gas station was just a few minutes south past of this Super America one. So he got mixed up as to which gas station he dropped him off at.
So then they pulled the footage of this new one.
Yes. And they pull the footage and, they see him dropping him off there and then leaving. And that's the last visual that they have of Henry alive. So now they have the last person, to talk to him alive.
So they see him being dropped off, but that's it?
Yep.
They don't show him
And then he walks off, and they don't see anything else from him.
Weird. So he doesn't go inside or talk to anyone?
And he doesn't have money. He doesn't have his
clearly
wallet.
Not, yeah. So, weird.
Yeah. This is a weird case. Wondering what happened, obviously.
Weird, okay.
And like I said, that is the last time anybody, or the last visuals they have of Henry, until 2 months later, when a kayaker in a nearby lake, only a few more miles away from that gas station, discovers a dead body. And that body, sadly, was the body of Henry McCabe.
Wait, how long was this after he was seen?
2 months.
So these are not remains. These are bones.
No, these are his body. No, it is full remains.
How months later, though? How is he still, intact?
I mean, obviously he's decomposed, but he's
That's
not
what I'm saying. But usually by then, it's, down to bones, usually.
I don't know.
Months? That's months later. This isn't weeks later. Unless it's so cold. Wait, this is Minnesota? Do you say Minnesota? Yeah. So maybe it's cold enough.
Yeah.
This was, you said September.
Yeah, maybe
could be.
preserve the
Could
body
have
a
kept
little
him
more.
cold, yeah.
Yeah,
And who
I
knows
mean-
if he had floated, this sounds gross, floated up onto an embankment or something that, like, he wasn't submerged in water the whole time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I'm just thinking, like, you found him in the water and nothing happened to him.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
I would think that would be one of the first things that
Like,
investigators would
Months
think.
in the water sounds gross. Like,
Yeah.
things are falling apart in there for sure. So that's why I was like, maybe they
Probably,
found a
yeah.
skull. That makes more sense. But, like,
No, I mean, the way
Yeah.
they describe it, it was his dead body.
yeah.
And upon the discovery of his dead body, the autopsy showed that there was no defense wounds and that Henry's cause of death was drowning. So to me, I guess not to me, there's one other thing that they found on his body. So he was clothed still.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the most intriguing piece of evidence that they found on his body, other than the fact that he just had clearly drowned and wasn't defending himself, was that his cell phone was in his pocket, but the battery to his cell phone was in a different pocket.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That is weird.
here's where like the idea or the battery not being in the phone still comes into play,
Okay.
because the reason somebody would take a battery out of a phone, I guess, is to not be tracked. In my head,
Right.
not be traced or whatever. And the thing is, even when a battery's not dead, but when it's on in your pocket, whatever, it's still gonna ping to different
Yeah.
locations.
Okay.
So then, obviously, with the battery out of it, it's not pinging to anything. So
Right.
that is where you can't figure out where he's been at since. But luckily for the police, they were able to find 3 pretty significant pings on his phone for when it was still had the battery inside of it. So on the night of his disappearance, his cell phone, like I said, pinged to 3 significant locations. The first ping occurred to the tower nearest the nightclub that they were at. The second ping occurred to the tower nearest the gas station he was dropped off at. And the third ping occurred around 2:30 a.m. So assuming it was the phone call that he made to his wife, and it pinged to the tower located nearest where his body was found.
So either he didn't want to be found or someone else didn't want his phone to be found because it would be found with his body.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
But he was, whatever that last voicemail was, it seems
Something
you can assume, that it was in the location of where his body was found, because it pinged to the nearest tower to that location. Maybe not right where it was found, but in that vicinity, I suppose. So, this all... What do I want to say here? This all makes sense, right? Where these pings are coming at.
Yeah.
In regards to the
There's
story
like a
that we're being
trail.
heard.
Okay.
Yeah. We know he was here, and we know he was found here. So it makes sense that all of these were pinged here.
Okay.
That is until you look at a map of these different locations.
Yeah.
Because the distance from the gas station to the lake where he was found is nearly 5 miles, which doesn't sound like a ton.
Really quick, not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
and maybe you'll go over this, but I just feel like as like a police person, like the last person that you have him with, are you comparing the pings on his phone as well with the same?
All I can say is
You
they
know?
did enough digging into William that they cleared him as a suspect. I would have to assume
Which has
that
been
they
done
probably
before
did.
and not always worked out. But
Right.
if they did enough, then okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't
Because
always
that's
mean
obviously the first person I'm like weirded out
Yeah, the
about. Like
last
who
dude
who
that
dropped
saw
their
him.
friend off with nothing
right.
at a gas
So,
station?
like I said, there's a few theories about what went on here, and we'll kind of go over 'em.
Okay. There's so
towards
many
the
weird
end.
cases like this that just don't have any fucking thing that makes sense about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
weird.
So like I said, this where he was located, this lake, is nearly 5 miles from the gas station that he was last dropped off at. Which, if he was traveling by foot
Yeah.
to get to the lake, within this half-hour period to make the phone call over near that tower,
And it's freezing.
and it's 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
They basically said he had to be, sprinting at a pace that was not really feasible even for the average person.
Okay.
Let alone someone that's so inebriated
I
that
was
he
just going
can't
to say, right.
can't drive home.
Yeah.
So somehow Henry was able to get close enough in the direction of the lake that he was found that when he called his wife, like I said, phone call pinged to the tower nearest the lake. Now, unfortunately for us, the case of Henry McCabe's death is a closed one in the eyes of the investigators because they kind of ruled it as an unsuspicious death by drowning.
Okay, so like an accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just assume a drunk dude that somehow got over to the lake in an unreasonable amount of time and, stumbled in. Who knows? However, I'm sure as we've kind of discussed a little bit and other people listening out there right now, they're probably thinking to themselves that there has to be more to this story. I know I am. I'm fully invested that
I'm
it
like,
wasn't
is
just
this
an
where it
accident.
stops?
The first time I heard this story and when I was researching this, I was like, sometimes you just gotta be real about things and like, hey, people fuck up. The dude got drunk and stumbled into a lake and unfortunately drowned, you know? And I thought that was this case at first. But the more research I did, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So there are a few theories that have been tossed around. None that have really stuck enough to get police to reopen the case. But enough that people are like, there's something more going on. So the first theory is that other local Liberians were responsible for his death.
Local what?
Liberians, because he's from Liberia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know why it sounded like librarian. I was like, what the hell?
Librarian. Pretty close.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so apparently an association called the Coalition for Justice in Liberia, they took great interest into this case. This group basically tries to help those who served and fought in the Liberian Civil War back in, again, it ended in 2003.
Yeah.
But they try to help, almost like Send a Vet or Wounded Warriors Project type of deal.
Okay.
So they believe that this could be a situation where a group of Liberians who also immigrated to America, but were on the opposite side of the war from Henry. So on the,
And they attacked him, is that what you're saying? That they found him walking down the road at 2 something in the morning in Minnesota?
Yeah, almost some sort of like gang war type shit,
What's the next one?
So
that's not fucking real.
The next one, simple enough, violently attacked by an animal out there.
Okay.
Would kind of make sense.
More plausible than the mad Iberians.
Yeah, would kind of make sense for the weird noises or weird sounds.
Yeah.
But none of the animals in that area, especially where that lake is, it's not a rural lake. It's like very populated.
Okay.
So they're like there's no way.
Like mountain lions and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is where this third one is a theory that I think kind of plays into the whole Civil War one, where you were talking about, so they just found him and killed him.
Yeah.
And that's that William Kennedy had something to do with his death, the one that dropped him off at the gas station.
Okay.
So, and I put a couple notes here. They cared enough to take his keys and wallet away, but not to actually take him home.
Right.
Like, hey,
you know
dude,
what,
we don't want you driving home, but we're going to drop you off at this random gas station.
You know what, though? I was going to bring this up when you said that earlier, that, like, I've been around people who are intoxicated and there is no fucking negotiating, especially dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, chicks, too. I'm not trying to sound like that, but they're, like, especially, I can take care of myself, just let me off here. And, like, you cannot talk with them. Like, it's like, you know what? He's a grown-ass man. I'm not, like, going to fight with him in my car. Like, if this is where you want to be dropped off, I'm not going to, like...
Which makes sense.
Fight with you.
But the thing is, again, where the gas station they went to, it's the opposite
weird.
direction
I
of
agree.
where the home is.
But also, you can't ask him about it because he's fucking drunk as hell. You can't be like, why do you want me to drop you off here, dude? He's probably throwing a fit in the car. Just fucking let me out or whatever. Like, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I did put that here. I said...
If anything, by that point, I'd be like, get the fuck out then. Bye.
So... I get
But
that.
leaving
I'm
him
still
with
like,
no
why would
wallet and
you?
stuff, like,
Why would
that's
you be
different.
heading the other direction though?
But that's what I'm wondering. I
Because
don't know why, but I'm just thinking, like, was he gonna meet a mistress? Like,
well,
did his
see,
girlfriend pick him up?
again, we're basing this theory off the fact that Henry was the one that said, "Come drop me off at this gas station." Now, because William is saying
Right.
that Henry said that.
Yeah.
Now, what I wrote here is, what if the original plan was to take him somewhere like the lake and kill him, whatever,
But why?
and like, again, goes
Yeah.
back to the whole Civil War type thing. Like maybe they did have something out for him, and they're Liberian, they're his friends,
Mhm.
and so I put right here, possibly original plan to take him to the lake and kill him. Again, Henry argued enough with William regarding the direction they're driving that William just said, like you're talking about, okay, fuck it, dude, I'm just gonna drop you off here
Yeah.
then. Henry saying, why aren't we going home? And then eventually William comes back and finishes the job.
Yeah, or is it possible that in his drunkenness, he just got gas stations mixed up and confused and wanted to be dropped off at one that he thought was closer?
Right,
Or
yeah.
who knows, you know?
Yeah, but that's also why William and them took his keys, because William supposedly is not drunk enough and should know which direction to go.
Yeah, William, but I'm talking about
Yeah, but
Henry. Like, what if Henry's just fucking super fucked up and he's just like, drop me off at this gas station, but it's actually not the one he's thinking of and it's actually further.
that's what I'm saying. Well,
Yeah.
then William, you're the
But
sober
that's what
one.
I'm saying
you
is
gotta
that
take
he
him where.
can't argue with this dude who's just like, just fucking take me there. Like, who knows if he's screaming
Yeah.
at him or I don't know,
Yeah.
right? Anyway.
So the fourth theory, and I put the main theory out there,
Okay.
is that Kareen, his wife, set this whole thing up.
Okay.
Being in California while it all took place, great alibi,
Right.
and
Convenient.
you get somebody else. Yeah.
Okay.
So, listening, there's like a 30-minute phone call between Kareen and a private investigator that she actually hired, and I listened to it, and she says that she spoke to Henry around 2 a.m. and that they argued. So this is like right when they're leaving the club. They argued that Henry should be home studying for the CPA exam he was going to have to take.
And this is proven by phone records?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And at one point, she then set up a 3-way call between Henry and one of his other friends to try to go pick him up to take him home. So she's on board with the fact that Henry was way too drunk and that somebody needed to take him home. And she's trying to set up a third friend to be the person to go pick him up, take him home.
Gotcha. It's interesting. She's already up that late at night or early in the morning, but then doesn't answer when he calls and leaves the voicemail.
20 or 30 minutes later, right?
Okay.
So, like I said, she claimed that she was trying to set up a friend to pick him up.
Okay.
Now, here's where things get kind of weird. I just have random notes here about her situation.
Okay.
But originally, there was a $10,000 reward put out for this is before he was found, any information leading to his discovery. And the agency that put up that $10,000 reward eventually revoked it and said, never mind, there's no $10,000 reward because Kareen was withholding information from investigators.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fuck
things get a
that.
little more dicey between the two.
Okay.
Now, to add to that, there are text messages between Kareen and Henry that show that their marriage may have been on the rocks, talking
Okay.
about how, well, maybe you should, figure out how to set up child support. And she's texting back, you've got a free phone. I don't need child support, or you don't need me paying child support or something. Like, you should just take care of our daughters. Something along those lines, to where it seems like
Kareen paying child support?
I don't exactly.
Yeah,
it's
just
really
weird. Okay,
confusing, but
okay.
you can tell that.
Who knows what the situation was? Maybe she did make more money
Yeah.
than him. I don't know.
Yeah. So then there's this part where Kareen, in this phone call to this private investigator, says that she was tracking Henry for years on his cell phone. So she was using some sort of Google Map app, not actual Google Maps, but it was like a tracking app that used Google Maps or in
Weird.
conjunction with Google Maps, where she obviously didn't trust him.
Yeah, this
Thought
goes
he was
back pretty
cheating.
far.
Yeah, she said, I've been tracking him for years.
That's why he took the battery out.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
a week before he disappeared, Henry cleared his phone, swiped it, as the private investigator likes to say, and cleared off the app that was tracking him.
So he knew it was there. He knew the app was there? Was it like the Find My iPhone or whatever?
It's similar to that, where you can just...
So he knew it was there?
I don't know if he knew it was there.
Yeah, because how else
But
would
that
you...
is quite the coincidence
or
that...
he wiped the whole phone and it just got...
It disappeared.
It just went in there with the rest of it.
He didn't re-download it or whatever. Yeah, so it is quite an unfortunate coincidence, if that's the case, that a week after he, swipes off her tracking info, that all of a sudden he disappears.
Or who knows what was said in person. She could have been like, I'm going to use all this evidence against you in court. And he's like, not if I can fucking clear it first.
Right.
And he fucking, who knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where, the gist of the phone call that I was able to listen to between her and this private investigator, that's what the gist of it was like,
oh,
he's basically, they're arguing. Even though she's paying him to look into what happened to her husband, they're arguing because he's saying, listen, you're not telling us all the information, and it does not look good for you.
Yeah, help me help you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to tell us everything. Like, she came back to Minnesota when all this was going down, and then for 3 days went back to California too. But she didn't tell them that. And it's a whole mess. And that's kind of the theory I'm subscribing to, is that I think she is involved in some way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so weird. I mean, we've heard of cases before where we find out later that people are withholding information because it's something that they think is important.
Right.
They think it's embarrassing. They don't want it out.
Yeah,
and it's
they
not
don't wanna
actually
admit to it,
because they did anything bad. It's like, well, I didn't want everyone to know that he was cheating on me or whatever it was.
Or she
something.
was cheating on him. Or
Who
we
knows?
had a bad marriage.
Yeah,
something like that.
but also withholding information.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come off like you genuinely want to find them.
Never
and
a
that
good
happens
look, yeah.
all the time. My wife, this just happened. I was just listening to True Crime Daily where this guy was like, yeah, my pregnant wife went missing. And they're like, can we come inside? And he's like, no, you can't come in my house. And they're like,
Something weird.
And you also can't look at my phone. And they're like,
yeah.
Okay, so how
Something's
badly
a
do you
little
really want to
off.
find them? Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, what I want to do, I'm going to play the voicemail, the voicemail one more time. Again,
I was actually going to ask you
it's
to
going
do
to
that.
play back twice.
Ugh.
So,
Okay.
here we go.
God, it just...
Weird. Just so weird. So, I put a couple other theories down.
Ugh.
A couple of other theories that one's like suicide, like, oh, his relationship was on the rocks, and even though he had a good job, like, he was getting bad reviews, and so
I mean,
which-
PTSD.
yeah,
I mean, like, it's
could happen.
Yeah,
What that doesn't
I believe that
fully
more
explain
than the
phone call.
Iberian people chasing after him in the
Yeah.
woods and stuff. I believe that more.
Yeah, it doesn't fully explain the phone call to the ex-wife, unless you're
Yeah.
like trying to rub it in her face, but then you're taking your battery out after.
Right, but then also, were you hoping to get her? Did you want to leave a voicemail? Like, I don't know.
Right,
You didn't
yeah.
know she wasn't going to pick up. I don't know. I don't know.
And then you take the battery out of your phone
Yeah,
for
exactly.
what odd
So
reason?
they don't find your body?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. And also, how did you get all the way over to the lake that
Wait.
quickly?
Yeah, because you would have had to... Yeah, you would have had to have whatever happened to you.
And then you take the phone and separate it.
Yeah, so you would
Yeah.
have obviously had to take the battery out
Were
and
you
then
fake
kill yourself.
drowning
or
and
like,
then real drowned after?
Yeah, I just thought about that. What the
Exactly.
heck?
That's where the suicide-
So clearly someone else took it out
Yeah.
after harming him, or, he did it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Another one, and maybe this makes a little more sense, is that he might have been drugged at the nightclub.
Okay.
To where maybe somehow, maybe there was like a good Samaritan that was like, buddy, can I help you get home after he gets dropped off at the gas station? And eventually he's just like, yeah, drop me off right here. Kind of like you're saying, like, just drop me off here, which is how he gets to the lake so quickly. But then you listen to the noises that he's making. If that's him making those noises, if you're tripping on drugs or something.
Yeah, if he gets drugged at the club, who would do it? What would be the motive? Was it just an accident? Was someone hoping
Right.
to drug him there and then get him back home and do something to him? If that's the case, why would you let him go free?
Yeah.
Because now you run the risk of him ODing in public and being discovered. And then what if somebody saves his life? And then he's like, why? I'm
I
drugged.
don't know
Who
what
did this
happened.
to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now there's an
Yeah.
investigation. Like, it just seems sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Yeah.
just theories. And these
Right.
are like smaller ones.
Right.
Toss it aside.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I said aliens. Now, I know you're looking at me weird.
Not really.
No, I know. Listen, you're looking at me weird because you're thinking I'm trying to call you out or something. Because,
No.
but actually, though, if I've watched any alien movies out there, imagine if you were being abducted or something was happening to you. Now, imagine that, and then I'm going to play it one more time. What would it sound like if you were being abducted or taken over by aliens?
So when I said Predator versus Alien earlier, you didn't
I was
say
like, I didn't want to say anything because this is like,
it does sound like it. It's weird.
It is, yeah. It
It's
is noises that
funky.
don't make sense, but again, these are noises that if something's happening to you.
Aliens would have the power to make it look like an accident, dude. Just saying, guys.
just
I know this
saying.
isn't where we go to talk about aliens. I might start another podcast, but just saying, I am a believer.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the investigators themselves, this is an open shut case. I mean, it's done, it's over with.
Right.
They don't care.
Because all the evidence points to that, and they don't want to
I
have to open
mean,
it. Unless you're brought
yeah.
something that opens it back up, there's no point.
They've got enough evidence
them.
to show that he drowned, and
Yeah.
you guys say he was inebriated and there was a lake.
I just
They're
like...
not asking how he got to the lake.
I
They
know
just know
it's
that
like
he probably
so
did.
picky with the details and stuff, but I would love to know like what the remains were, because you can't find out a lot if it's fucking tissue, and of course you're gonna rule it an accident. You don't have anything else. There's no gunshot wounds. It's all bones. There's no strangulation
Well,
marks.
again,
It's all
I mean,
bones. There's no
that's
blunt
you-
force trauma. It's all bones. You don't know.
That's you thinking there's just all bones. I'm telling you, they were able to. There was no defensive wounds, so
That they could tell.
yes.
Yes, because what's left of the body, we don't know.
Right,
There
we
could
don't
be
know.
a little bit of tissue.
I'm assuming that there's a whole lot left.
Which
if you're gonna assume,
you've seen stuff before.
we know
Months.
that there's enough. Listen, we know there's enough for them to rule that he died via drowning. So his lungs and everything are still intact.
Well, we don't know that actually, because we don't know what was left. If it's open and shut, they could just be like, well, there's no evidence he was murdered, so it's probably an accident.
No. They ruled his death as drowning, or his cause of death was drowning.
But how do they know that?
That's what I'm telling you. At least the lungs. I mean, you can tell when someone dies from smoke inhalation before they drowned, via inside the lungs.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. That there has to be enough lungs there still to determine that it was. Otherwise, they would put undetermined or something like that. They wouldn't just put, drowning.
But if they don't care enough to close the case, then who knows what the fuck they did? You know how many people fucking open and shut closed cases just because, like, well, we have enough? All I'm saying, it could be just lazy police work. It could be they just had the fucking coroner shut it. This has happened so many times. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
These small towns are like, yeah, well, seems open and shut to me. Like,
yeah, I think if there was just bones found, I don't think anybody.
but it's months, Riley. That's why I'm saying.
I know.
What are the
What I'm
chances of
saying-
lungs being left after months?
Let's actually look it up here. How much can a body decompose in 2 months?
Okay.
I just want to see.
But also keep in mind, this is credit on your end that it is freezing water, so it easily could have survived. But even if the lungs were there, I doubt they were fully intact. Months? And who knows what the fuck was eating it? Like, I don't know. A week or two? Okay, maybe 1 month? I don't know.
My thing is, why would they rule it as drowning if there's no sign, there's nothing to point to it being
There's
drowning?
nothing to not point it to murder, though. So, of course, they're going to be like, well, he was found in water. This just sounds like it's very convenient. He's found in water. And it just sounds like they easily could have been, well, it probably was a drowning. This has happened so many times before. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
All right, well, that was unsuccessful because I could not find anything
Someone
really.
will let
I mean,
us know, I'm
there's
sure.
like different stages of it, but there's no like.
Yeah.
well, after 2 months,
Yeah.
it would be like this. But yeah, I mean, you could be right. It could just be lazy detectives not wanting to.
Yeah.
I feel like more questions would be around. I mean, it's 2015 that this took place. It's not like this was like the 80s where it was like, oh,
No,
yep,
but it's
open
still
shut,
it's still it every police force is different.
Yeah.
Especially when they're smaller towns. This isn't like, the fucking LAPD or anything. This is like little fucking Minnesota or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a big. Obviously, everywhere has small towns.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would like to think that they would not classify any cause of death if they don't know.
Yeah, well, it's been done before.
It's like,
that's why I brought it up.
Right, I know. But
So
then
many
it makes
times.
you question. If you go down that route, though, you could question everything. Like, was it really the cause of death that they got strangled? It's like
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Right.
Who
So then
knows?
at that point, that's just opening up the whole Pandora's box where
Which everyone
you
already
shouldn't trust
did, clearly.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm drawing the line at not drawing the line. I would like to think you would just not put a cause of death if you don't know the cause of death.
That would be nice,
So,
right? If everyone did
You
their
would
job.
you would think that the private investigators or Kareen would be like, let's get a second opinion on this.
Yeah.
But
Maybe that's what she wants to believe. Maybe she wants to believe it was just an accidental drowning. I don't know.
maybe she knows
Maybe
it wasn't.
she wants to leave it like that. Exactly.
Maybe she knows it wasn't.
Yep.
And now I think we're on to something. Because she's not asking for a second opinion on the autopsy.
Well, some people don't know what to do in those situations.
Maybe
Like, "My husband's
she's
dead," and-
more than happy that it's an open shut case.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's perfect timing. I'm all out of energy. I'm
Perfect.
checked out.
All right. Well, I've been checked out for the last 40 minutes.
I've been
Hate to say
checked
it.
out for the last 29 years.
Have you checked in yet?
No, it's pending.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. I would like to know what you guys think might possibly be the situation.
This
If
is the
there's
stuff
any
that keeps
theories
me
out
up
there.
at night. Like, not like I'm going to turn into a fucking private investigator, but like the little details.
Yeah.
Like, why are the lungs still there after months?
See,
Like,
I
that
again
stuff
am on.
fucking bothers me.
Yeah, my thing is like, well,
How?
you could answer that question. Obviously, shitty investigative work or lazy detectives.
Lungs,
Like you could
the
just.
lungs?
I'm saying that you could just assume that they weren't there.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
I can't assume.
So, I'm still confused as to why the friends were so adamant on making sure that he was safe enough to not drive, but would just leave him at a gas station.
Yeah.
Like, follow him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's so adamant to be dropped off. Be like, okay, but here you go.
What
I'm
if
not leaving
the
you,
wife
though.
and William were having an affair?
Ooh.
What if they were sleeping together, the wife and the best friend?
I
and
actually
she-
had that in the notes. Not that they were sleeping together, but like that he was working with her, that this was the plan. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Jinx, Yomi, I don't know, something. Anyways, all right. Thank you everybody for
Thanks,
listening,
guys.
watching.
Watching.
And if there is, any theories you guys have out there that we haven't
message
discussed,
me, comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested.
let us know. It'll be quite the journey.
That's why
we're
we're here,
on.
right? It's the banter.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of True Crime Banter, and we'll talk to you next time.
Catching the flippity flip.
Adios.